Hi, everybody. Welcome to our week number 14 live stream for my research methods class. I see a couple of you getting logged in and joining me. Everything looks like it's good on my end. Can you all hear me and see me okay? Or somebody give me a yes or a thumbs up if everything's coming through okay on your end. I'll put it in the chat too. And just to make sure you can all hear and see me before we get going. Hard to, okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. All right, well, we'll head over to Canvas then since everything is coming through well. And we scroll all the way down. We are right here. Oops, sorry, I almost skipped a week. Week 14 right here, right? So 13 weeks done. We're in week number 14. Everything due by this Sunday night, the 27th at 11:59 p.m. I can't believe we only have like 4 weeks left of our semester. It's kind of crazy how little is left at this point. Not to overwhelm you if that's overwhelming. If it's overwhelming, there's lots of time left, right? But let's look at week number 13 for just a moment, and then we'll focus on what we have going on for this week. So last week, I kind of gave you a different week, if you will. I wanted to give you an opportunity to start working on that experiment proposal project. Since that is something that's kind of a culminating final paper and it's worth a lot of points, I wanted to give you an opportunity to start thinking about it and working on it. And a lot of you did a beautiful job with that. And so the only reading for last week was on the instructions, and then wonderful job for the most part on discussion 13. A lot of you really started to kind of break down what you would do. Some really interesting like topics all over the place from what people are interested in. But those of you who lost points, it was typically just because you didn't quite give me enough. But most of you did a beautiful job and got full points. If you lost a few, try and keep giving me a little bit more, especially if you're consistently losing like a point or two. And there are still a few people who are forgetting that peer response, but the vast majority of you have a really solid start to that project, which will be due the last week of our class. I also appreciate your honesty in the self-assessment. Again, a lot of you seem to be pretty happy with your grade on the first 3 exams, your grades on the discussion so far, and plan to continue doing the same thing. So really nicely done on all of those elements. And there were definitely some of you who took advantage of the extra credit. This week, we move on to week number 14. And so this week, what we're looking at is the last of the APA formatting topics. Let me just put this in student view really quickly here. And let it reload. Okay, so for week number 14, like I said, we're looking at APA Part 3. Your reading for this week is in the manual. And again, I know these pages aren't perfect, but I scanned them so you didn't have to buy the book. So for this one, instead of the chapters in the textbook, you're reading this one chapter in the APA manual. Make sure that you also go through the lecture that I have for you. So this one is looking at citing sources specifically. There's some stuff beyond the book here, and I would really recommend, in fact, I hope you do watch this video. So I had Jasmine from the Writing Center at the time. She's now a health educator on the campus. But she made this wonderful video about citing and references, and really just amazing like resource right here. There's also some wonderful resources down here, some great websites that might be really helpful for you, along with like a sample paper. All of these things are going to be helpful for understanding APA formatting, specifically this week looking at like citing sources and making a references page. The last page has all of your key terms, so these are all the things you need to know for that next exam. So as always, make sure you watch those videos, click on any links that are in there, explore everything to give yourself your best opportunity at understanding. There's also a lecture video, and I purposefully kept this short since Jasmine made a video for me from the Writing Center, so it's brief, but I wanted to touch on a few things. Once you've done all of your reading and you've watched all of those videos, here's the discussion for this week. And as always, you have my prompt followed by my video. But with this one, you're going to be doing one more round of those APA exercises. So you'll go back to this APA style website. You're going to work on in-text citations and matching a reference to the resource type. Again, maybe not the most thrilling, but it's a little bit interactive, which is kind of fun. Number two, share your experience. So once you've done that, then you'll share your experience with the two practice exercises above. What did you, how did it go? What was confusing or not confusing? Then what you're going to do, and this is worth the bulk of the points, is number two here. You're going to create an APA style 7th edition references page. And it's going to include these 3 different sources below. And I want to give you a heads up, and I said it here, they're not currently in any kind of formatting style. So the whole key here is that you're going to need to take these 3 references and format them correctly. So I'm looking to see that you can not only put them in the right order, format them correctly, but also make a proper references page. So what I'll be grading you on is the accuracy of formatting your page along with formatting the references that are right here. So make sure that you spend some time here. All of those little resources that I pointed out in the lecture are going to be really helpful for showing you a sample references page, kind of reminding you how to do this along with the reading for this week. And you can take a picture of it and upload it like some of you have done here, or you can have it as a separate document, whatever is easiest for you. But that is your discussion for this week. And then don't forget to respond to a classmate, of course, to get those 2 points. You also have your 4th homework assignment this week, which will kind of give you an opportunity to bring in all of these APA formatting pieces that we've worked on, specifically the ones we're focusing on this week. So let's take a look at the homework assignment and see if you have any questions I can answer. There is an unformatted paper and then the link to the assignment. So here's the unformatted paper that you're going to need for this assignment and then the instructions. So let's take a look at the instructions first. And as always, this is worth 25 points. It's due by the end of this week. And when you're ready, you'll hit Start Assignment to submit it through this link here on Canvas. And so what I said here is the point of this homework assignment is to give you practice properly formatting an APA style research paper. So for this assignment, you're not writing anything new, but rather correcting and formatting citation mistakes in an existing article. So you're going to take an existing article that I have removed all formatting from and edit it and make it APA style friendly. So what this should be in the end, it should be roughly 10 to 12 pages. Again, you're not writing this, you're just formatting it. Typed, size 12 font, double spaced, all of those very standard APA style things. And these are the things that I want you to pay attention to. If there's any kind of spelling or grammar things, ignore it. If it's not on this list, ignore it. But what you're going to look at is general formatting. Are the margins correct? Is the font type and size correct? It should be Times New Roman 12 point font. Is the line spacing, the indentation, and page numbers correct? You're going to be making a title page. Make sure it matches the correct formatting. It should have a page number, the overall formatting, the author, the affiliation. In the body of your paper, right, make sure that each section has its appropriate header. It should have appropriate page breaks. And then there are some citations in the paper that are incorrect. So anything that's highlighted in yellow is wrong, and those are the ones I'm going to be grading. You can ignore the rest of them, assume they're correct, but leave the yellow highlights so that I can find them. If you remove them, I'll have no clue where it was. It'll take me a long time to find it. So anything that's highlighted in yellow, you're going to be fixing. And again, the point of this is not to write a new paper, but to take what's already there, fix it, edit it, and make it correct. So let's go back and look at the unformatted paper. So this is the paper that you're working with if you click on it. And you're definitely going to want to download it so that you can make those edits and save it. But if you look at this, it's very obviously incorrect. There is no title page. That's a problem. The abstract is typically its own page. That's another problem. You can see the headings that aren't formatted correctly. The spacing is wrong. The type is wrong, right? So all of these things are things you're going to edit. And again, you can notice the ones here that are highlighted in yellow. Those are the ones that I want you to fix. So if it's not formatted in yellow, and there's only a handful of them, you can leave it. But anything highlighted in yellow, make sure those are the sources that you update and fix and make correct. So that is the homework assignment for this week. And again, it's worth 25 points, so definitely spend some time on it. I will, of course, give you the extra credit in a moment, and I'll post the recording of this in a bit. But does anyone have any questions or anything at all while I type up and give you my reminders that I have? I have a couple of quick reminders, and then If you have any questions, this would be a great time to ask. The first one is don't forget to take a moment to double check your subscription status. Remember that they expire every 30 days, so you might need to renew it. So if you have a moment to check that, that would be amazing. Especially if you're watching this later as a recording, you can still get the extra credit if you are subscribed on Twitch. The other reminder I have for you, our next Twitch live stream will be on Wednesday, April 30th at 1 o'clock p.m. Sorry that today was a couple of minutes later. My kids get out early this week for state testing, so I had to kind of push it back so I could go get them. But next week we'll be back to our normal time at 1 o'clock. The other thing that I want to point out really quickly, and then I'll give you that extra credit question, is starting next week, all the remaining materials will open up for you. So what you'll see next week is that weeks 15, 16, and 17 will all open. I will still be going, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to scroll so much here. We'll still be going 1 week at a time and focusing on the current week. But just in case you wanted to work ahead a little bit, I know that we're nearing like a very hectic, crazy part of the semester. So if that gives you a little bit of flexibility, I thought that might be nice. So next week, you'll see everything else open, but still be really mindful of those weekly deadlines. They will still be in place. Okay, and then let me give you the extra credit for today, and this is something you can find in the lecture or maybe even the video that Jasmine made for us, and this is the week number 14. Week number 14 Twitch extra credit question. Okay, so what I want you to do is share, so copy and paste the website link, 2 great APA style resources. And these can be ones that I shared with you or ones that you have found, but share, copy and paste the link to 2 great APA style resources. And when you're ready to do that, since we're in week 14, you'll click on optional Twitch extra credit number 14 right here. And then up at the top, click on start assignment. And that will bring up the box where you can type your response. And when you're ready, hit submit for your confetti and clovers, right? St. Patrick's Day? I don't know. So that is the kind of extra credit for this week. And again, a lot of you have been taking advantage of that, which is fantastic. It's a lot of points in the end. And if you're just starting now, that's okay too. You can still get a few weeks of those points. So those are the big things for this week. Work on the reading for APA style part 3. Let me get back to it here. APA style part 3, which is this chapter. Go through the lecture, watch the lecture video and my lecture video with PowerPoint slides. Discussion 14, the homework assignment, and then you do have that extra credit if you are interested. Okay, so that's everything that I have for all of you. If you have any questions for me, I will hang out for a little while and I'm more than happy to answer them. Otherwise, hang in there. I know we're at like a difficult point in the semester, so hang in there, take care of yourselves. And if you think of any questions later in the week, you can of course reach out and email me. I'm gonna minimize this so I'm not staring at myself, but if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you so much for those of you joining me or watching this later. And I will hope to see you all next week. Thank you as well. Have a wonderful week. I even saw that we have like a small chance of rain on Saturday. Like I'll enjoy the last little bit of cold weather while we still have it. I know the hot weather is coming, so I'll take it while we can. And I am still here if any of you have any questions. I'll hang out for another couple of minutes.